my earliest memory of music was in Cuba, because my grandmother was a concert pianist. Although she never really followed her career. She got married, but she went to the conservatory and finished all the stuff in the conservatory, and she was actually a pretty good pianist. And so we lived in Havana. She and her husband, my grandfather, they lived in Varadero Beach, which is like about, depending upon, at that time, probably an hour and a half drive. And we would go there every weekend, pretty much, lots of weekends. And it was great because it's a beach. I mean, it's a beautiful beach. It's an incredibly beautiful beach. So we'd go there on the weekends, and my grandmother would always play. So my earliest memories is my grandmother playing these Lecuona songs or Chopin. She loved Chopin. She played a lot of Chopin. And so when I was a little kid, I was already listening to this. So fast forward to when we came to the U.S., when I was in elementary school in Baltimore, in third grade. I was in third grade, 8 years old. A trio came from the Baltimore Symphony. A wind trio came. With it was, if I recall correctly, it was flute, oboe, and bassoon, and they played for the students. And the next day, the teacher said, "How many people want to study music?" And they passed this thing around, and so I said, "Yes, yeah." I fell in love with the oboe. I wanted to do oboe. So, what instrument do you want to play? So I checked off oboe. Well, even then, elementary schools didn't have oboes, much less today. But they certainly didn't have them even then. So instead of the oboe, the next day they said, "Okay, Orlando, come on in. We saw that you want to play and you were interested." They handed me a metal clarinet, which was fine, except I took it home. They didn't give me much instruction. They said, "Just take it home and tomorrow you'll have a lesson." I took it home, opened up the case, took it out because it's one piece. That's how the old days, really, really cheapo clarinet. I pulled it out and I tried to blow through the thing, make a sound, and I couldn't get a sound. I blew and I'm like, wow, this is going to be terrible. I can't get this thing to sound like anything. So the next day I go to the teacher, to the music class, and the teacher opens up the case and she takes the clarinet out and she takes the mouthpiece cover off, which I had not done. And said, "Okay, so this is how we do this." And she started showing me and I was like, oh, wow, okay. So as it turns out, that was fine, and so from there I played clarinet for a while. When I got into the middle school, I played saxophone because they needed saxophones. So I would go back and forth between clarinet and saxophone. Because I was a child of that era, in the late '60s, I started playing guitar, electric guitar. So that became another passion. So I was playing in pop groups. I was still playing in the concert band and the orchestra. So I had kind of a real variety of genres and interests as far as music goes, because I was doing these different instruments and in different types of situations. In the pop rock groups that I was in, I was playing electric guitar, but I was also playing saxophone. So I was influenced by music that would also have winds and brass, which was a little different than just like a heavy metal band or whatever. But during that whole time, from high school through especially my first undergrad degree, I played all kinds of music. And I played all those instruments, and so it was a very kind of eclectic existence until I decided that for sure I wanted to concentrate on composition. And then while I still played some, the performance aspect took more of a backseat. And I spent lots of time obviously trying to develop my craft as a composer. But I was always writing, even in pop groups. I was writing instrumental rock tunes and things like that, and I was writing little tunes on the clarinet and the saxophone and the piano. The earliest tune I can remember, outside of pop and rock, the earliest kind of serious tune was a little Debussy-like piano piece that I scored when I was just in the first part of my college training, and then from there. But none of that stuff's around.